Luis. Hey, my boy Ka Raul Musar. And welcome, bienvenido, everybody. Here I am again, man. Had a very interesting. Oh, well, a minute.
Pairing.
Don't know if my mic is on. Is it on? It should be on now. Hope you can hear me. Had a very interesting evening last night. Was looking forward for a debate that was going to go on, but it didn't go on. I mean, it's so much that we need to talk about. Okay, that Harlem hustle, I call it, is interesting. Anyway, wanted to get up on here. I don't know why my screen is so blurry over here, but anyway, wanted to continue on to these. Wanted to continue on with the energy. Okay, this force, electromagnetic forces that we have all around us, and it's everywhere. Now, I wanted to start off with the affirmation, but I gotta look for it. I don't know it by heart, but let me offer my own treatment for now until I find the affirmation. And that is never beg the universe. You don't have to beg the universe because you are one with the multiverse. So you never beg the multiverse with it. You just acknowledge certain things, right? So in this acknowledgement, we acknowledge this force. If anybody know about Star Trek, when I say feel the force, you can't quite put your finger on it, but you know it's there. Turns out to be potential energy that turns into kinetic energy. It's something that drives. What drives these particles to move? You know what I'm saying? Has a lot to do with the electromagnetic forces and gravitation and levitation and all of that scientists want to explain, but they really cannot put their finger on it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at Papaut, the all expanding, it facilitates the movement of particles. Saying these the smallest acid-based particle that exists in all the multiverse. And so that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to go into the cosmology, also cosmology. We're going to look that up. I'm going to freestyle, you know what I'm saying? So as we're going on, we're going to look up some stuff. You look it up with me if you want to. But remember, I always like to reiterate this. I would like to start this, that where awareness goes, energy flows. Always remember that. Okay. So this electromagnetic forces, we put our consciousness to this electromagnetic forces, our energy flows, right? And so first thing we realize there are much more centers or much more areas that we can explore. But right now, I'm concentrating on the 9 using the Kemetic alchemy system. The 9, the highest 9, the highest number, okay, in the graph, and the 9th is the connection that we have with the electromagnetic forces, with that energy, that's comes from all the constellations, the multiverse, all those constellations. There's energy there, facilitate. There's movement in there. There's potential energy, potential movement, and there's kinetic energy, movement. So you see this movement when you start going into astronomy, and you see the movement of stars, the planets are rotating in their movement. What is putting all this in movement? Saying this energy, emotion. We say we do it, and we call that emotion. Our energy within our bodies starts to move. But we're talking about the emotion, the multiverse, and the movement. You know what I'm saying? That's inevitable, and it's evident. We see it, we feel it, we hear it when we start going into radio frequencies. You know what I'm saying? We see this movement. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? So this energy, when we connect to this energy and we start looking at beyond transcendent and we start reasoning beyond what we know, you know what I'm saying? And we start laying back, looking at the stars and seeing it and analyzing it. We see that there's this movement going on, you know? So there's this electromagnetic energy. We say electromagnetic and magic electromagnetic, I call it. You could even go that far to say that because, you know, it's there, you know. But then we can, depending on the devices that we use, we can see it, we can observe it. But then again, it's not there. You know, it's subsisting. Existing is it's submerged existence, just like consciousness and subconscious is submerged consciousness. But you have existence, and then you have a submerged existence, which we call subsistence. You cannot really see it. You know it's there because your intuition is going to acknowledge it. You know it's there when you reason things out. You know that there's this movement going around. There's this energy, but we can't quite put our finger on it. So we connect with that energy. And in connecting with that energy, we get to know that energy, right? And let me get up to this here. So we connect with that energy, and then we get to know what this electromagnetic forces are, the cosmic reality of what it is. You know, and then we see it, we visualize it, and we can visualize this electromagnetic forces, which in terms that it translates itself, transforms itself into what we know as what they call an illusion and reality. Then we speak the electromagnetic forces. We speak our truth, you know what I'm saying? Remember what truth is? When all the pieces of the puzzle fits perfectly neatly together, and false is the opposite. So we start grabbing data from from historical data, scientific data, and we start analyzing, we start putting it together. We start reasoning at the part of seeing and knowing, we start reasoning. And then again, we have to be aware of what we call, you know, what's the difference between critical reasoning, paradoxical reasoning, sound right reasoning, you know, all the different skills of reasoning. So we get to know that. And I know, please, this might be a lot to absorb right now, but just listen, just hear me out first. And then little by little, you know, for my sake also, I need to break it down too, because I'm learning. There's so much to learn. There's so much to experience. So, you know, I'm learning also. At the axis of it all is what you call the sharing, the love. The love is sharing. It's caring and sharing, right? This is the axis of it all. It is the barrier of the higher electromagnetic mental forces with the lower energy forces. When we get into will, we will these electromagnetic forces. We feel it when we're engaged in sexual activity, when we engage in certain things that deals with the sacral energy. You get to feel it. And then we become it, because that's the core of our very, very being, becoming, you know, these like electromagnetic forces. And when I say that, what I mean, you know, is when I say that, I'm just using that term, electromagnetic forces, but that's the way I see fit, or many of us see fit when we have these type of conversations. But again, when you have biblical conversations, and you're going to call it God, the God force, the God particle, you know what I'm saying? They're going to call it different things. But for the sake of across the board, just going to say electromagnetic. The most high frequency is electromagnetic forces. And then at the bottom, we ground it. We use it, we ground it, we anchor it by using it and seeing it work with Earth magnetic field. It transforms itself into Earth magnetic field. So you get to see how seeds, right? So you plant a seed and you see it grow, it becomes something, and and then it goes up the ladder, up this ladder. Is here what we see. But anyway, getting back to the connection, when we connect to this divinity, we connect to the multiverse. It's our natural ability. It's a natural right, insets to it. So let me bring this up for you real quickly here. I want you to hear this out. Because I use also musical instrument. Now this is when you have a bunch of bowls, singing bowls of different frequencies all at the same time, and you start using it, right? It opens you up. This is representative of the star energy, because stars also have frequencies that are out there. As a matter of fact, one of the ways they have some telescopes, and one of the ways they observe the multiverse is through radio frequencies. And these radio frequencies, they transpose that into heat frequencies and stuff like that. These telescopes, but they can't. Sometimes you cannot observe it with the naked eye. You can observe it with your auditorial, with the optic, but you can hear it, the radio frequency. So you have to, remember 96% of what we call the multiverse out there, it's unseen, it's subsisting, it's unseen. So we're already looking at a very small amount of 4% of what we see, of what we experience from the cosmos. You know what I'm saying? So this is the Om sound, Tibetan. Listen to that. So when we connect ourselves with these electromagnetic forces, especially with musical frequencies and vibrations, we use certain devices. Some of the ancients use certain devices, singing bowls. It also was using Kemet, because you see bowls in Kemet. They call them new bowls, right? You see these bowls in Kemet, and you also see tuning forks. And they use frequencies in order to tune, to connect with these higher frequencies. Connect with the most high, with this most high forces. You know what I'm saying? So let me break something up here. Okay. So, in this, I need to bring up, see something here. I got my laptop going on over here at the same time, so I need to bring up these, my notes. You know what I'm saying? So much information, you know what I'm saying, that sometimes you have to get this notes in, a lot of notes here. But, in speaking with this, my granddaughter is up. So you know what I'm going to do? I have to tend to my granddaughter at times. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out and then come back in, but I'm going to be on my laptop. And you see my grandbaby with me. Let me see what we like. Jesus, oh, here you go. Okay, so in the star energy, oh, come on, what's going on here? Okay, okay, here we go. So again, when we look up to the multiverse, we see all these stars. And in the Kemetic sign that's known as Nut, it's a sustainer. So when we connect to what sustain our etheric body, which in turn sustain our physical body, because our etheric body is this electrical body that we have. You know what I'm saying? It's what makes us move. It's what makes us feel. It's again, when you seeing the ladder, you're seeing what this electromagnetic forces and how it translate, and how it expresses itself into these different centers. And that's only 9 different centers. So one of the centers that we're dealing with right now is the connection, is the star, and how this sun collects all this information from all of the cosmos. My granddaughter, I'm trying to listen. Collects all this information. It sustains us. It sustains life. It sustains nature, which is a condition. It's what put things in motion. You know what I'm saying? It's in this particular solar system, we have what they call the Milky Way. And let me see if I can pick up a picture of the Milky Way. Okay, I'm going to have to, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to have to stop this transmission now and maybe come back in. I apologize for that. It's just that, I have some responsibility here and that I have to tend to my grandbaby, and then I will pick up. But I hope that we're going to use this as the introduction. Okay. So this connection with and I wanted to bring up also how some incense, for instance, the dung beetle, it's one of the incense, what they call kepri, and how it uses the Milky Way as a for its navigation and how it moved towards, in line with the Milky Way so it could roll its dung. Also, they said the Nile River is a river that was dug out by our ancestors and it followed also the Milky Way. But anyway, y'all, yeah. What's up? What you got? I got my little granddaughter here with me. I say hi, Nala. Say hi. So I'm going to have to stop this and maybe come back at another time. I think her mother's coming home early so that I can continue on. And then I want to speak about other different subjects, say like what happened last night. We go in, and morals and ethics. There's so much we can speak about. But I'm going to continue on this particular energy center and how we can, and how important it is. A natural ability that we have is to connect with the multiverse, with this solar system. You know what I'm saying? We have a natural ability to connect, you know, just like we have a natural ability to speak. We have a natural ability to see, to feel, right? We have a natural ability to will, you know. So we've spoken about these natural centers. Okay, so one of the highest natural centers we have is to connect with the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? Don't cut yourself off. You know what I'm saying? Because once you connect with the electromagnetic forces, it helps you in distinguishing, and also it creates moral and ethics. Okay, it's at the core of that. It also, being mindful of what you're eating, what you're saying. Also, there's levels of toxicity. You know, we do that a lot to each other. Say blah 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 blah. Talk about my blah 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 blah. Look at you see yourself on TV, look. Blah, 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 blah. This is a funny girl. So let me tend to my baby over here. I mean, she is a little quiet right now. I'll see how long I can continue on. But anyway, um, I was bringing up the constellation. Let me see, stop screen here. The pictures of the constellation. Let me see. Constellation pictures. Let's share that. Okay, do you see that? I think you see that, right? Okay. No, mommy, don't touch. You're starting to touch now, my keyboard and stuff like that. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to do this. This girl's all over the place. Wait, mama, wait. This is let's see. Yeah, these are the pictures of Aquarius. This is the different constellations. Here we got Andromeda, you know what I'm saying? We got the Cassivia, Perseus, Andromeda, the fall constellation, Cepheus, you know, some of them, Draco constellation, you know what I'm saying? All these constellations. I used to have dreams, visions, you know, astral project and viewing a lot of these constellations. You know, I was learning a lot about it in my astral projections and my dreaming and stuff like that. And I don't, you know, I'm a human being, but like I said, us human beings, we come from a primordial state, and maybe we also need to define that so people know what we're speaking about when we speak about primordial state and these particles and how we are these particles, you know, and how these particles are in the multiverse. Everything, all is mental. We're in the mind of the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? Particles. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we, within that mind, we manifest into this avatar, these physical bodies. So the physics is very much part of the metaphysical stuff that we don't see. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you know, they're saying that matter is mostly space. You know what I'm saying? So we look at matter and everything around us is mostly space around it. You know what I'm saying? So when you really think about it, you know, and you start thinking real deep about stuff like that, you say to yourself, wow, I mean, you know, how all of this affect us in terms of using voidness, you know, in like entrepreneurship. You know, there are people. I used to know this very wealthy man that he used to sit in the curb of a neighborhood, and I used to be like, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm looking for the void in this neighborhood. Something that I can feel. There's a void here." And then next thing you know, he opens up a blockbuster video shop. Made a lot of money doing that, a video shop, because he said, I see people driving. I see people, you know, on a Sunday want to stay home. I see a lot of VCRs out there, and he even sold VCRs. He sold electronics and stuff like that, and you know, and he says there's a void for that. So that even in entrepreneurship, you find the niche, you find that void. Of what is it that you can fill in that void? So that's just using the concept of what we call, you know, voidness, a black space. You know, so there's a space there. You got to fill that space. What can I fill it with? You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's just so that you can see how we can use the electromagnetic force. This girl's getting ready to touch everything here. I got my MIDI keyboard here. I got all my devices all around me, and this girl is ready to start touching the keyboard, but you can't play nothing. It won't show. Nope, can't hear. It won't play. All right, mama. Okay. So you know what? I am going to come back to this conversation at a later time. And I also want to bring up biblical code. That way, it just give me time to also, while I take care of the baby, to get the notes in order and get it right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start using PowerPoint pretty soon too, because I think that's the, you know, I should be doing that, especially when I want to do classes like this. Say hi, Denala. Say, I am Denala. I am the future here. Say, hi, I'm Danala. My name is Danala. Not Nala. Better stand up. Say, hi, 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 hi. This girl is so. And then my other grandbabies, man, I'm so happy because they got a violin and they're gonna soon they're gonna start classes on the violin. You know, it's very important for music too. Remember frequency. That's another thing. When you connect to the electromagnetic forces, and you get to use. You know, it's so important to use these frequencies and learn about it. You know, the frequencies of the violin, the frequency of the percussion, the keyboard. I got my keyboard right here. I don't think you can hear it. It's not plugged into it. So, you know, using these frequencies and it teaches children how, you know, opens up to the world of vibes and frequencies and tones. You know what I'm saying? That's important when you give them the right tones and frequency. Because let me tell you something: if you leave it up to the way things are going now, and the tones and the frequencies that are coming out now are toxic. So you can have toxic frequencies. You know what I'm saying? And these children, you know, you see how they start thinking. You see what's manipulating the thought pattern. You see the way their behavior. You know what I'm saying? They're creating this paradigm. Why? Because we're going to speak about that too when we go into cosmology. In the science of cosmology, they have this thing called tritus, and tritus is spiritual debris, spiritual debris. And I have the list, and I already have presented that in one of the podcasts about this list about how pork, alcohol, even bad verbiage, bad vibes, bad frequencies can be spiritual debris. And if you're taking a lot of garbage, what happens to you? What happens to the body? You take it, eat garbage all the time. See what happens. Same thing with the spiritual body. If you feed it nothing but garbage, debris, what happens to your spirituality? You know what I'm saying? So there's many things. So tones and frequency is very important. Yeah, baby. You listening to what I'm saying? Right? You understand that, right? You understand that. This is a very spiritual baby, let me tell you. She likes to hear tones and she likes to hear when you play nice tones. Uh-oh. So yeah. I mean, you know, there is like your mental debris, spiritual debris, and physical debris. You know, you have debris. You know what I'm saying? You see people that drink a lot, they get so drunk, they throw their stink bomb. They just destroy everything around. You know what I'm saying? The party is over. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, you can't have fun no more. Out of control. All out of control. Spiritual debris. You know, also, it's for some reason it was asked a question to this presenter about pork. Why is pork considered to be a spiritual debris? Hey, let me get the plug going here. Yeah. I know you can no, mommy, don't touch. So there's certain things that are considered spiritual debris. Pork is one of them. He said, I don't know the reason why. I don't know. Maybe because of the pork. And when you look at the family of the pork, the swine, you look at the family of it, you know, the avok, the boar, you know, and you look at the way, you know, the stuff it eats and stuff like that. So that could be part of it. I don't know. And it doesn't matter if you bring up pork in eating holistic food. It doesn't matter, but something about the genetics. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, you know, it was taught that it was a cross between the cat, rat, and the dog. But you didn't hear it here. I'm not going to go into that because you know that's scientific, and when you have to pull out scientific data and that's hard to find right now. But anyway, but that was taught in the Nation of Islam and also ancestors who learned that, and Muslims know them. So certain foods, certain foods are spiritual debris. Alcohol, the word alcohol is the good. You know what I'm saying? Also, cemeteries that had an amount of nitrous in it, spiritual debris too. That's why you should build a house on that where there was a cemetery before. They had situations where you know what I'm saying, and you know they made a lot of movies about that. You know how different communities were built on Native American cemetery, stuff like that. Next thing you know, things starts happening. Spiritual things starts happening. What they call spiritual debris. Nicotine is another one. So there's a lot. And the most important that stuck with me is verbiage. Certain words can trigger spiritual debris. Words, the way you speak and what you say. That's the reason why I feel that, and heading the conversation another way, that I've been looking at a lot of podcasts um, on TV, and I've been watching some of these presenters cursing. And then next thing you know, things doesn't turn out right. You know what I'm saying? Chaotic. It just, you can see it. It manifests right in front of you. Chaos. Why? Look at the verbiage that you're using. Look at how you're speaking. You're constantly cursing. You're cursing people out. You're cursing and this and that. You can't express yourself without a curse. A curse is a curse word. And mentally, that is spiritual debris. It's toxic. There's certain people that are so negative, mentally negative, that it also triggers and is considered spiritual debris. So we can speak about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's very, very important. These are facts of life when you really think about it. But when what's the matter with a lot of our people, we're not cognizant of that. You know, we think that, oh, being tough, and this was being black is all about, and being tough in the street. About, let me tell you something. A true tough guy, a true gangster takes care of his neighborhood. That's the reason why I had a lot of respect for those gangsters, those Italian mobsters. Because if you walked around where there was a social club where the Italians used to hang out, and there was a strong presence of a Gambino family or a Colombo family, and a big presence in that Italian neighborhood, your woman could walk through there, and your mother, your sisters, everybody can walk through that neighborhood secure and not be afraid that somebody is going to do something harmful to them. Same thing with the Ansars. The minute you came out of the train in Murder Avenue, you came out of the train and you walk, right? And you see all this chaos all around that neighborhood. But the minute you turn on Bushwick and you started walking down towards Hart Street, where the Ansar Allah University was, multiversity, and you see these guards, and you see these buildings painted in white and green, white and gold, and these men standing there guarding these buildings. That neighborhood, a lot of the neighbors used to appreciate us being there because their daughters were safe, their family was safe in that environment, because that's being a true gangster. That's taking care of your neighborhood, not being detrimental and destroying, you know what I'm saying, and creating all this physical and spiritual and mental debris that you know. So we can have a conversation, more conversations about that. Uh, but yeah, you know, blah 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 blah. Yeah, say nice, say hi, say Rahubat, 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 Rahubat Musad, Rahubat Musad, Baboyka, Rahubat Musad, Baboyka, Baboyka, Rahubat, 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 Ashuk, Musad, Ashuk. So yeah, that's when you deal with, again, cosmology, the cosmos, solar, and the cosmos, the science of that, and you're dealing with the multiverse, and you connect with these electromagnetic forces, you see how it has, when you connect with it and you know it and you start seeing it and you knowing it, it should change the way you live your life. That's the purpose of these broadcasts, is that to present this information. And this information, we lived it. This information, we lived it. And like I said, I'm a student of the master teacher. I'm a student of the master teacher. And my master teacher, I say it, and my mother, is also one of the master teachers that I had, of course, from birth. Our mothers are, you know what I'm saying? And then I had a lot of mentors, you know, as growing up, you know, being a youth, seeing brothers how they did things, you know what I'm saying? And that taught me a lot. So I had some great mentors, some great friends, exchange of ideas, you know what I'm saying? Great professors at NYU, you know what I'm saying? Even in high school, I had some great professors, you know, mentors, you know, mentor. And we have to acknowledge that, and we have to look for that. And then we have to become mentors to the youth, you know what I'm saying? And let them see through examples, and also let them see. Open up their mind, you know what I'm saying? Take them to those trips, take them to the museum, take them to the planetarium, and say, look, of this world that's out there. Connect with that information that you have around you, and then connect it with not a hope, you know, hopefully this broadcast helps in achieving that, you know, for the youth when they listen, you know, and you make sense. And you say, hey, listen, there's always gonna be that wild side to us. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you're a youth, you know what I'm saying? We take that, and a lot of us take that for granted. There's always gonna be that wild side. And I'm gonna bring up some biblical narrative about that, where all of that come from. A lot of this wildness that's going on is just coming out of that whole paradigm of that whole slavery mentality. But our ancestors, of course, there was, as a youth, it's wild. We done stuff, wild stuff, but it was more controlled, more controlled. Why? Because rite of passage, there was institutions, there were masters, ascended masters, mentor, you know, institutions that was able to initiate the youth into some, you know, some of these sciences. Also, I want to speak about slavery and the whole Freemasonry of what that taught about slavery. We can make those connections. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to look at everything paradoxically again. Well, I think when things exist and subsist, we got to look at it not critical with a critical mind. If you're going to use a critical mind, you're going to use choices, and you're going to choose one side for another side. But when you use a paradoxical mindset, you get to overstand and say, wait a minute, this fits all in this puzzle, this paradox, this puzzle. It fit neatly into this puzzle. So you can extract more truth when you use that form of reasoning. Anyway, let me stop it here and this podcast here, and I will come back maybe on my laptop. Don't grab that, mama. Don't no. Don't grab that. And we'll continue on, okay? And you know, pardon me for the this is an interruption, but this is part of who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta feed my baby some lunch. Oh, is it lunchtime? Oh yeah, it's 1:45. No, don't grab that. So okay, peace and blessing. Be back. I'll be back.